Sup, y'all? Sup, Arch here on the Gamer Side channel with the next episode of Darkest Among the Light. I'm not going to speak much, so let's just begin.
My blade disappeared into a haze of black smoke. I nearly collapsed. But then after about a minute, a bunch of soldiers in black and gray uniforms pointed guns and blades at me. Most of them were female, probably about 2 males out of like 20 women. Then an old dark-skinned man with white hair and a beard came out. He was much taller than I was. He spoke with a calm, deep voice.
Lower your weapons. The boy is probably terrified.
Then I passed out. I woke up in a medical facility the next day. I had sensors and gadgets stuck to me. I was also wearing blue patient's clothes. I tried to rub my eyes, so I raised my arm and there was a clank sound. I was literally in metal shackles. I laid back and felt something on my back. I couldn't quite make out what it was, but it was black and soft. So I put my head down and relaxed. I thought it was some blanket to make me feel better. I was feeling better than I did when I crashed. I heard the doorknob turn and I sprung up. The chains broke as I did so. I looked at the broken shackles on my wrists. The same man that spoke on the intercom and told the soldiers to stop came into the room. He had a smile on his face and slowly walked towards me. He gave a little laugh and told me,
Not many people can break those.
I just sat there, like a deer in headlights. He took a seat at the end of the bed.
Don't worry, I'm a friend.
I just sat there unresponsive, thinking, is someone going to try and kill me again? But his voice was so friendly and calm. It kind of relaxed me. I took a deep breath and leaned forwards. His smile grew. He stated,
My name is Mr. Brown. Your statistics say that you are 5'10", Caucasian male, with brown eyes and black hair. All we are missing is your name.
I was hesitant to tell him, but if I wanted answers, he would be the guy. So I told him. Then he pointed at my back and said,
Looks like you have a new feature.
I tried to look back, but all I saw was the black thing on my back. He pointed at a mirror across the room and told me to go look in it. I walked over to the mirror and looked. My eyes widened. That was no blanket stuck to my back. I had wings. I tried to move them, but they only twitched. Mr. Brown conveyed to me that I'll get the hang of them. I asked, Can I fly? He gave another little chuckle.
Maybe. No one else has that gift, as of now.
Shocked, I tried to make a failed attempt at a sentence. Maybe gift others? He smiled again.
Hold your questions to the end. I'll explain everything, okay?
I nodded. I was at an utter loss of words.
I am the headmaster of this grand academy. The name of the school is the School for Extra-Dimensional Security, or as commonly known as SEDS. The country you are now in is called the Western section of the United Countries of Earth. This world we call Dorian Anthropoi, or in English, Free People. We train people to fight the darkness that lies beyond our world, in the land called Diaphthora, or corruption.
I had a very hard time comprehending this. I was about to head to college, then I started to fall from the sky, smashed down like a meteor, attacked by a psycho chick, wings sprouted from my back, and now I'm some dimensional security guard?
After the darkness, the world had to unite to fight back. You see, we have been waiting for you.
So I'm some chosen one?
Most likely. There is one more test, but you fit all of the prophecy.
I wanted to say, really? Prophecies, are you kidding me? What is this, some fairy tale? I held my tongue in respect because he was being so nice. Instead, I asked, "So this school, you train security guards?" He looked down and took a pause. His smile became something of a half-smile. He responded,
I guess you could say that. I never thought of it that way. In this school, like I said before, we train people to fight against the dark. These people are more of soldiers than security guards. We call them Amazons and Reapers. I bet you're wondering why most of the soldiers that surrounded you were women.
I sat there trying to remember. It crossed my mind.
This is because of the low occurrence of the genome in men. It is mostly found in females, but there are some males that have it. The females are known as Amazons, and the males are called Reapers. Everyone gets tested when they start to hit puberty. This is because everything changes at that point, and it is easy to find the genome. Sometimes the body changes and gives the person extra features. Though mostly, people with this genome naturally need a little tweaking.
I was still puzzled, but it seemed the more I learned about the predicament I was in, the more I felt like one of three things. 1, I died and went to hell. 2, I was going crazy. 3, I was in a nightmare. Trying to get clarification, I asked, "Tweaking?" His smile disappeared, and he started to look more serious. I knew at this point we were getting into something really important.
Yes, we modify the genome to allow the person to create a weapon. These weapons are called genome weapons. What the weapon is varies from person to person, though there are those who are less gifted and cannot produce a weapon. The girl that attacked you has a gift when it comes to her genomes. We thought she was the one that fit the prophecy. Unfortunately, we were wrong. You are also one of these cases.
I was wondering if this prophecy was like something in a book. I asked, "Can you tell me about this prophecy?" He looked at me as if he was peering into my soul.
I guess you have a right to know. It goes like this. The warrior will fall from the sky. This being is the angel of death. Death shall draw Excalibur from its slumber. Whichever side this combatant is on will win the war.
I started to get worried again. Thoughts were racing in my mind. Excalibur? Angel? War? This time I was able to make a couple of sentences. "I'm not an angel, especially not an angel of death. I can't fight. I could hardly ever beat my friends in a fighting game." He responded,
We will see. But from the looks of it, you are now.
He pointed at my wings again. I looked down at my hand with the iron cuffs still on. I ripped them off, annoyed with the info I just retained. I asked, "It says I have to draw Excalibur from its slumber. So, is it alive? And is it the Excalibur?"
Yes, but I'm not sure about what you mean by the. You come from another dimension than ours, so your legends, myths, and history are different. On the case about it being sentient, we are not sure. No one was able to wield it. If they tried, like the girl that attacked you, they were either killed or seriously hurt.
This made me even more curious. How do they not know if the sword is living? And it hurts people? I asked, "How does the sword do that? Does it float up and stab them?"
No. You see, the sword is a weapon called legendary gear. These are probably things told in your myths. There are sometimes legendary gear in dimensions. There are never two in a dimension naturally. Now here's the catch. The gear chooses its wielder. In Excalibur's case, it will shoot up light into someone throwing off the balance in their heart and mind.
This was weird. Because whenever someone talks about light, they're talking about electricity or the sun. In this world, which I couldn't wrap my mind around, light is something that the body has. I asked, what do you mean about light and balance?
Everyone has light in them, and they also have darkness in them. You might think that it is a good thing to eradicate all the darkness, but in reality, it is fatal. The mind and the heart need some of both.
As he said that, a maid came in with my clothes folded in her hand and my shoes on top of the pile. She gave them to me. She whispered something into Mr. Brown's ear. His eyes widened, and he looked at me. Then he gave another laugh and walked towards the door. He stopped at the door and said,
Get dressed. There are slits in the back of your shirt and jacket for your wings. I'll be waiting outside. When you finish, come out. We still need to talk.
I got my pants and shoes on. Then I looked at my shirt and jacket. I yelled towards Mr. Brown, How am I supposed to put these on? He opened the door a little bit so he could talk in, but not see.
You'll figure it out.
I whispered under my breath, Really? And I tried. Surprisingly, it wasn't as hard as I thought. Finally dressed, I walked out. Mr. Brown was still outside.
Looks like you figured it out.
I give him that really look. He continued and started walking. I followed.
We are almost finished enrolling you into this school. We enrolled you as D.
I asked, Why? I told you my name, and why D? We stopped at the end of the hallway. He responded,
I really think you are the one. So I took a bit of a leap. We changed your name for the safety of your family back in your world. D stands for death. Then you also have your title of Reaper. So we gave you the name Death, the Reaper of Souls. You know, lore has it, a scary name scares the demons away.
He chuckled and started to walk again, but this time, I didn't follow. I raised my voice and said, I didn't sign up for this. I was sucked out of my home, and I fell into this place. At this point, I was yelling. His expression started to show sorrow. He said,
Yes, I know. We always give the person a choice whether or not they want to fight. But it is different in your case. If we don't put you in safety and train you, they will get you and change you. Or they will go after your family and force you to fight for them.
I thought this was nonsense, but so were the wings on my back and the blades that appeared out of nowhere. Only thing is, those were real. So I asked, Who are them? His face became serious again.
They are the darkness. They go under the name the Dark Ones. Imagine the worst thing you can. Now multiply that by infinity. I told you earlier that people need balance. Those things don't. Their souls, if they even have any, are full of darkness.
I remember about the maid whispering to Mr. Brown. I asked, What did that lady whisper to you?
She told me that it was nearly impossible to create those slits in your jacket.
I asked why. He told me,
Whenever something is infused with light or darkness, it becomes nearly impossible to break. Your clothes are infused with darkness. Only thing is that it would kill or harm whoever uses it if used for a while. I was surprised because you are still alive.
I looked down at my clothes, worried.
Don't worry. You would be dead by now if you weren't somehow immune.
So that was the second episode of Darkest Among the Light. This picture is drawn by the Indigo from DeviantArt. This was supposed to be my Angel Beats episode, but it wasn't in there for reasons. Now, I hope you enjoyed Darkest Among the Light, the second episode. We'll be rolling out with episode 3 in 3 weeks, hopefully. Hopefully 3 weeks, maybe 2. But we're going to be hopefully speeding up the process of how fast Darkest Among the Light gets thrown at y'all. And hopefully you'll like it, because I enjoy doing it, I know my actors enjoy doing it, I know my artist enjoys drawing it. Also, the picture for Darkest Among the Light, as usual, was drawn by Jaggerbird. So until next time, make sure to stay subscribed, shoot that like button, or you can just dance all over it, I don't know, pineapples, and goodbye.